All right, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Targeted Individual Experience. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how they, again, use cognitive warfare, hacking of your home network, to engage in certain type of subliminal messages, particularly the number 32, and also how they use family members to engage in targeting, right? So what you guys see here, I was backing up some of my photos, my videos onto an external hard drive, right? And the only video that I had difficulty copying over was this video. Now, if you look at the video, just look at the number on the video, you'll see the number 32, right? You see that right there. Now, this was Saturday, yesterday. Today's Sunday. So now I'm going to show you guys again how they use family members, how they manipulate them to engage in whatever type of subliminal messages, which again doesn't make sense, and you're going to see why it doesn't make sense. Okay. All right. So the New York Predator Department, again, over the entire weekend, have been engaging in, again, in-home illegal surveillance, the use of the sirens and noise to engage in targeting, to engage in subliminal message. Again, whenever I'm looking at certain videos, certain words are said, they use the sirens. Very subtle form of noise attack that what they normally do, right? Like I said, they're retaliating and will continue to retaliate because I keep exposing what it is that they do, and I'm going to continue to expose it. All right. So anyhow, I get a message, and also today and yesterday, I've been looking at very funny YouTube's videos. I've been having a blast. Like literally, whenever they see you enjoying yourself, they don't like it at all. They hate that, right? So I've been watching what's his name, Kai, and this Asian kid, Ryan, funny as heck. I've been watching a couple of other young YouTubers, and I'm just subscribing to them because they're very funny, right? So today I was like, yesterday and today I was like, you know what? Let me go through YouTube, find these young, and as well as other content creators who are white, also Asian, also that I find funny and that I like, that I'll subscribe to. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't take anything to hit the like button or to hit the subscribe button, right? So I've been laughing my behind off, like literally laughing my behind off. Because some of the stuff is funny, way funnier than any comedy show or or network or cable, right? So all of a sudden, I get a message from my nephew. No, I had gave his son, my grandnephew, a PC, right? Very, very good PC. This was in May, as you see the date here, right? So this is the day before. This was because he left on or it might have been right after. It was either this date or the day before. So I gave him a PC, very, very good computer, Intel base. You know what I'm saying? And I forgot the power cord, and I didn't include a mouse and keyboard, right? Because I said, look, you can buy that, you can get that from, you get a free damn computer, right? So you can get that from Amazon, you can order that stuff. And I forgot the power cord, so you can see May 18, 2020, 2025, right? I said, I think I forgot to include the power cord for the PC in the box, right? And I gave him a link where he can find the power cord from Amazon. Okay, let's go. Let's see here. Right, as well as a wireless mouse and as well as a wireless keyboard. And he goes, okay. Remember, this was May 18th, right? Let me see what else is. So then he goes, okay. So he says, okay, all right. Then he says, hey, O said he's still missing something for the PC. Do you remember what he needs? I can order it from Amazon. So I text him. I said, listen, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. He's like, remember he needed some parts some part keyboard or power cord adapter, I can't remember. And I sent him a message. I messaged you. He said, "I see you now." Now the message that I sent him, okay, was again the part that says, "Hey, I think I forgot such and such." Send him this. All right. Now let me see. There was another message I sent him a couple weeks ago. Right? Maybe a couple months ago actually. Hold on a sec. Let me see if I still have that. I deleted it. All right. So I'm going to go through the messages. Right? You'll see from May 18th. Right? And you can look at the continuation so that you know that I am taking the picture continuously, right? So you see here the wireless mouse, and then you have the gaming keyboard, right? And then after that, you see this, and then which is this right here. It's the continuation, right? So I want to show you guys continuation, right? All right, and then we get to this part, which is today, and he says, "Hey, O says he is still missing something for the PC. Do you remember what he needed? I can order from you." Now, at this point, I don't think this is my nephew. At this point, I don't think this is my nephew. So when I talk about how they do these things to try to test my memory, this is what I talk about, right? Because I had when he texted me, I had read it and I scrolled up I was on the desktop and I scrolled up and I said, "Hey, yeah, I sent him the link to everything, right?" Right? See, so I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. What is he saying about the PC that is wrong? And he goes, "Remember," again, the remember part, because again, trying to test my memory to see if my memory has improved or what have you, right? And like I was talking about, there's certain things that my memory will improve on, but they will take the very few things that I can remember and try to say, okay, well, you know what? Oh, his memory is fine. His memory is fine. If you ask me, what are the major things that I did in the beginning of this year? I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you. But the things that you do all the time, the things that again, because like particularly my targeting, I remember those things very well because my mind is conditioned. Remember too, when they do this to your mind has the ability because your mind has what is called plasticity, plasticity, meaning that your brain has the ability to shift a certain functions or certain memory to a different part of the not a different memory but different things to a different part of the brain, because if one part of the brain is not functioning properly, it can do it. It's like how some people will for example, like say some people have like let's say they have like the prosthetic limb, right? Their mind will trick them into thinking that their arm is that prosthetic limb is itching, so they can remember that feeling, right? And they will scratch it, but they're not doing anything, right? Because your mind has that ability to do that, has that memories. It's what is. It's not like your consciousness is saying, you know what? Let me see if I can think back and I can remember this, right? This is your brain doing things automatically without you even consciously being aware of it, right? So when I talk about how they can condition you subconsciously and program you so that you would do things that your conscious mind can't even recognize, that your conscious mind don't know what you're doing, understand the science behind these things, okay? Because again, when we are too much of believers, that is how they continue to manipulate us. That is how they continue to fool us and trick us, right? So anyway, but again, and I'm looking, and as I scroll up on my desktop, I'm seeing, okay, and I said, okay, yeah, see, there's a message there. What I had asked him a few months ago about, I said, hey, how is the computer? How is he doing with the computer? Is the computer fine, right? And he tells me that it's fine, and I'm gonna prove it. Again, I always like to prove what I say. So what that tells me is that on the Facebook app, they have the ability to not show you certain messages, right? But on your desktop, you'll see those messages, even with the text. So you guys see all this text, right? Again, this is one after the next. This is on my phone, right? This is Continuation. You want to know what is missing? Right? You want to know what is missing? Watch this. Let me get to that. Wait, it might be up here. Okay, no, it's not. I might have to. Hold on a sec. Okay, so I had to pause the video and then I had to go back into the file folder for it to show up. So you want to know what is missing? This is what's missing. Okay? This is what is missing. On my phone, Facebook app, in my messages, I cannot see this message. But on my desktop, I can. So that's why I took a photo so you guys can see. And this is from Father's Day now. So remember, from May to the next month, June, I asked him, I said to him, Happy Father's Day, nephew. How's the PC? Is he enjoying it? Happy Father's Day back. Yeah, he's good. I think he's in there now playing it. So why is he sending me a text today? Not text, but a message today on Facebook about his son missing the parts for the PC. Right? When his son has been playing it since, I asked him, and then he goes, "Oh, I see it now." Right? So when I talk about this is what they do. I remember a few years ago, I got a message from this brother Polite, and I should have known that they were after this brother because the video was but it was AI. It was AI generated, but it looked so real, much better than how the AI used today. And then I could no longer find the message, and I think I did a video on it too. So it might be in one of my videos. I did a video on it. When I went back, couldn't find the video. When I talk about how they attack the conscious community, particularly our brilliant black brothers and sisters who are conscious, how they manipulate them, this is what they do. And something said to me that something is not right, because all of a sudden I receive a text message from this dude. All right. Now I've sent them information about targeting and cognitive warfare and stuff like that. But when you're busy because you're making that money and such and blah blah blah, you living that life, this is what they do, the distraction. So they shift us from our purpose, right? And then I get a video from this dude. This was before all that shit happened with him, and it looks so real. Oh, I'm in Brownsville and such, and it's like sending me like some type of message and stuff like that. People got to watch their mouth about what they say because, talking reckless can this and that, blah, blah, blah. So I did a video on it. Yeah, I'm not sure if I did the entire, what he was saying. But and I knew something was up. Because when I went back to try to get that video, to download that video, right? The name, even though the name was the same, the person it was a picture now of a white dude. Okay, that's who it was. I remember that. Okay, so when I talk about pulling out some of these things, these jewels that they send me, particularly when it comes to deal with my targeting, I'm very with my targeting, I'm very sharp. Everything else, not so sharp, but with my targeting, yes. Right. This is another one of those kind of threats, right? The fact that they have the ability to do this, they've had the ability to do this. The fact that they have the ability to use AI in such a more advanced. I'm talking about AI. Let's talk about like 20 plus, 2 decades, right, from where everybody's at right now. The military, CIA, big tech, particularly those that work with the military to help develop these things. They are way ahead of what you see in AI. They're way ahead of what you will see in the movies. And as real as CGI is in the movies, it is nothing to compare to what they have shown me. Okay? Nothing. And so, I say this because, again, just proving what it is that I've been saying, what I said, that they can hack into all of our accounts because they have all backdoor keys for everything, even though we may not want to believe that. Right? They can manipulate the apps however way they want. As I just showed you, you don't see this on, you know, on the app at all. You don't see it. But if I go to my desktop on the browser on the PC, I'll see it. All right. And again, so why is he? Think about it. If he's telling me that, you know, it's fine, his son is playing it, why today is he sending me a text about, hey, O said he is still missing something for the PC. Do you remember what he needed? I can order from Amazon. No shit like that. Like why? Why are they doing this? It is because it is the curse of threats, the curse of nature, and them doing things behind the scenes, behind closed doors, in secret. We talk about COINTELPRO. We talk about how those on the Predator Police Department, particularly the New York Predator Police Department, who have been in partnership with Israel, with the Israel surveillance state, right, with Mossad. When you talk about the CIA, when I talk about the CIA embedding CIA agents within the police department across America, and one of the biggest example of how you would know this is, and I was talking about the Central Park Five, how they engage in manipulative, psychological operations, cognitive operations, lying, deceiving, and then convicting 5 young children, black children, and how they use the media to get the black community to not even question these police officers who torture these young children. And it's torture what it is that they did to these young children. But because they're black children, black people, fucking Negropeans, don't get upset, talk about, well, they said they did it with no evidence. Right? But because the police said that they did it, then they did it. Right? And then, well, they signed a confession, right? This is so infuriating that black people should have been infuriated at that time. To say you cannot question children, and they know this, without a lawyer, without their parents. You cannot starve children because you're trying to get a confession out of it. And because we don't understand psychological manipulation, psychological torture, which they do, because they've been taught by the CIA when they were running their criminal drug trafficking and gun running program, right? This is what they were doing. But we're not looking at their criminality. Their criminality caused the black community and has continued to cause the black community to suffer. But we don't look at their criminality. And because of their criminality, they create the mindset, the situation in which we, and it's not just black people now, but understand that black people are attacked the most. And the agenda is to depopulate the black population. Right? But to do this to young children. And then we talk about, oh, well, they signed a confession. Go and read about false confession. Go and read about how police officers, as well as the psychiatrists and psychologists, particularly in law enforcement, the white supremacists, how they create these things. And because they're in a position of authority, we have to believe them, or we tend to believe them. When they're manipulating us, when they're manipulating our communities, when they're manipulating our environment, when they're manipulating us through drugs or what have you, when they're using cognitive warfare on us, we don't want to listen. We don't want to believe that this government, who we know the history of, we know when the FBI, who is racist in themselves, talk about white supremacists infiltrating the police department, when we as black people know that this, they haven't just started infiltrating the police department. They are the police departments. And we know this, but we still fall for these things. And it isn't when conscious brothers and sisters, Bobby Hemmings, Phil Valentine, who themselves were attacked, Dr. Amos Wilson, who himself was attacked. When you go and you look at their videos online, the one thing you hear in common that also happened with my targeting is the use of noise, sirens. And there's a video where Bobby Hemmings talk about how You know, they had sent military helicopters to hover over his house. Constantly, we are constantly under attack. And the Negro peons will sit in church because that's what they want. Passive, docile Negroes to sit in that church, be lied to over and over again while sacrificing their children and the future of their children and the future of their children's children. Right? So it's my job, like I said, my duty, my purpose to expose them, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And to make us become more aware, more conscious of what it is that's being done. All right? So like I said, keep the hits coming because I'm going to expose it. All right? I'm going to expose it. Talk to you guys in the next video.